How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about BBIG, which was down around 4.24% on the day. And I must say it held itself up fairly well considering how volatile the markets were. We had the CPI numbers that came out, and for a speculative play, there was demand inside of the market. We'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for BBIG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $2.71, being down 4.24%. On the low, it tested $2.63, and then on the high, testing $2.88. So when we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 13.891 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 17.795 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and that's why we've seen a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 46.28. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, and we're also below the 21-day EMA and as well as the 50-day. So what we are seeing from BBIG, remember when I was talking about in my previous video, we ended up having our gap filled to the downside. But one thing that's been keeping up with BBIG is the range that it's trading in. It seems to be holding support fairly well right at 270 and also taking into consideration at the high of the zone right around $3. So as far as for the price action, the high of the day was at 288. So what I'd want to see going into tomorrow or as this week progresses is for things to look bullish, we need to get back above $3. If not, and we continue to have resistance at this 21-day EMA, then we can have a further pullback and go below the 263 where we tested on the day. And what could this potentially look like? We can end up seeing support levels right here around $2.52. So that is one thing you're going to want to keep in mind, and we want to see a reversal happening soon for this play. But keep in mind, if it does decide to consolidate at this 250 level, that is not too bad either due to the fact that we are waiting on a catalyst in regards to the spinoff. Still puts it in a pretty solid range, but do know if it gets down to 250, then we could potentially start testing areas of support right here around 230. So let's see how BBIG performs as this week continues, but again, we need to make that move going above $3. Now let's go on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for BBIG. So for the off-exchange short volume ratio, it is at 57.03%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 5.77 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 100,000, updated 18 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 36.75%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 8th, it is at 49.49, and then for the close of the 11th, being at 57.03. So we do see an increase right there, and then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 16.28%. So what this shows us, BBIG does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for BBIG. So we see on the inflow it's at 7.66 million, and then on the outflow it's at 8.23 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 4.98. And then on the small, it was 2.68. On the outflow side for the large, it was 0.39. On the medium, it was 5.20. And then on the small, it was 2.64. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for April the 12th, we had an outflow of just over 394,000. And then for yesterday, so which is the 11th, we had an inflow of just under 200,000. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 7.48%. So this is not too bad for a volatile stock like BBIG. And considering the volatility we had inside of the markets, I felt like we didn't have that much of a pullback either. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for BBIG, when it comes to the price action, we saw today support held up at $2.63. So we end up having a pullback further in the market for this week. I want to see us hold support at least around $2.50. If this level breaks, then we want to see strength at $2.33 or $2.31. So keep an eye on these levels to the downside. If you're looking for a bullish reversal now, then we need to see BBIG get above $2.90. The moment it is able to do this and we have volume coming through the stock, that's where I can see it going to $3, and then we want to make that move getting above $3.50. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential, but we are seeing an increase in the short interest. So this is one thing we have to continue to keep an eye on, because we know if we have a catalyst like that record date for the spinoff, we can see BBIG getting above $3, and I know many of you are going to be looking forward to that. So continue to do your homework and making sure if you are going to be taking an entry, you have your exit strategy, and you also have a strategy in regards to risk management. This is very crucial with the markets that we are in. We had the CPI numbers that came out, and it was just a tick above what was expected. So knowing this, and when it comes to speculative plays, when we're talking about businesses who haven't shown consistent profitability, you want to make sure you're being wise about the plays that you're in, and you're not suffering from FOMO trying to catch stocks when they're at the highs of the day. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will continue to keep an eye on this stock and keep you inside of the loop. We'll be talking real soon.